Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by Todderbert. If you enjoy reviews, comparisons, band scans of new and classic portable radios, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon to miss any of most excellent videos. In front of us we have the boss. It's C.Crane's CC Radio 3. An amazing radio. I'm really excited to have this. Sounds really good. I have the 2E model, but having the CC Radio 3 is like a little bonus. I'm loving it. So let's get started. So we're going to do a evening medium wave band scan. Current time here is displayed 10:19 p.m. Central Standard Time near Chicago, Illinois. And we'll go over features of the radio, do a little size comparison, and then we'll start cruising the evening medium wave band. So features. The left-hand side here is smooth plastic. It's got this gunmetal color. I like this. Front of the radio shows some elements. Up here we have a little LED window. That's for the weather alert status. So if you have an alert coming in, this will flash. Or it'll stay solid red when it's in alert mode. Here we have our metal speaker grill. And behind there is a 5-inch speaker. CC Radio 3. Over here we have a light button, which will actuate 3 different light settings. We have high. We have medium. We have a low. And then we have an off. Then we have our bands, FM, AM, ham radio, 2 meter, and then we have our weather bands. Of course, you saw the display. It'll show our frequency information, and of course our clock. Buttons, we have a clock set feature. We have a clock frequency button, which is really handy when you want to see what time it is while the radio is on. It defaults with the frequency and then goes to clock, which is a pain. So now it's defaults to frequency, and then you have to hit the button for the clock. So there's a way to change that, and I'll show you that in the main review video. Over here we have alarm set button, a timer set button, up and down tuning keys for seek forward or manual tuning up and down, and of course time setting. Bass treble controls are amazing. This radio sounds fantastic with that 5-inch speaker and be able to control the bass and treble. One of the best things out there. Down here says Twin Coil ferrite. This includes a 200mm ferrite antenna if you didn't know that already. It's an amazing AM radio. AM, FM, Bluetooth, 2 meter ham, weather band on the bottom there. Right hand side we have the tuning wheel for slow tuning. And then if you push this in, you have squelch for 2 meter band. Here we have the lock switch. We have a volume control and a headphone jack. Top of the radio, we have some buttons. We have a band select for the AM, FM, and auxiliary input. We have another switch for selecting Bluetooth, the ham radio band, the 2 meter band, and the weather and alert mode. Here you'll see you have 5 preset buttons. You'll notice this says pair, back, pause, play, and forward, and those for your Bluetooth functions. Over here we have a power sleep button there. And up here we have our little antenna that comes up here and it goes down and retracts flush with the top of the radio. I do like that. Let's go ahead and, with the cards out of the way, show you the back of the radio. And we'll get to turning this thing on. So you see the nice little handle, an vented case. We have some terminals back here. We have an auxiliary input jack, a timer record feature if you have a recorder that supports that feature. And then we have a line out jack, external AM antenna. Behind here, the battery compartment, we have 4 D-cell batteries. And over here we have an AC input for AC cord. Alright, so let's go ahead and flip this back around. And what I've been using my Iron Man cards as a prop. So I can prop this big radio up. I did that before, so I can angle it just right to the camera. Alright, so let's go size comparison. We have a CC Pocket handy, and it fits right in the speaker grill. Just giving you an idea. It is a massive radio. It's still portable, but you'll probably find yourself using it in the house most of the time. And there's our CC Skywave, again as a size comparator. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn this radio on and hear what we can hear tonight. So power switch on top here. There we go. Got our volume. And you'll see me adjusting that often, and then the bass treble controls here. This radio auto tunes, so you'll see this tuning signal strength indicator kind of flashing back and forth, and then until it locks in on the station. So we're going to use these buttons to tune because these are fast tune, and over here, if I need to, we can slow tune the radio at 1 kilohertz stepping. So I'm going to go for 10 kilohertz stepping right here. So right now we're at CHLO, Brampton, Ontario, 441 miles. They advertised it at 250 watts. I'm still not sure if that's correct or not, but that's what I keep seeing.
इसलिए मेरी सबसे यही गुजारिश है कि अपने इनवॉइसेस लिया कीजिए जो भी आप काम करवाते हैं गाड़ी का या कुछ भी तो आपका अकाउंट
just wanted somebody to take a look. Somebody could look at these facts and take a look at what's happening here. And we did.
How did he end up coming to you?
Well,
Okay, this is really neat. This is CBK on 540. This is Watrous, Saskatchewan. This is 1,025 miles away. Now, if I turn it, I'm going to get a local station out of Milwaukee.
Live on the ESPN app featuring ESPN Plus.
So we have ESPN here. This is WAUK, Jackson, Wisconsin, 70 miles away, 400 watts.
I think but my point is, you can't do it around that. And
I think more than that is you get into February, March, and then you're within spitting distance of the election. So why bother?
I just don't think there's as big a difference.
Okay, 550 here is KTRS, St. Louis, Missouri, 275 miles, 5,000 watts.
You may be right. I just would like. I think the more comes forward, I would like to see them get both and testify, and I don't feel like they're that far off from doing it.
And Liberty University are teaming up to do is to play offense again and talk about
560 WIND, Chicago.
To do in the public space when it comes to civic engagement.
25-30, CJ. He dropped the ball. Cool. Right on. And I think Seattle recovered it. Oh, what a perfect ending to it.
WNAX, Yankton, South Dakota, 460 miles, 5,000 watts.
Yeah, Seattle ball, that's the game. Good Lord. The Continental Diamond Jewel of the game, Anthony Harris, had a 20...
Somebody was happy about that. Good Lord. So that's pretty funny. Got some Michigan stations this direction. WKZO, Kalamazoo, Michigan, 137 miles, 5,000 watts at night. Actually, this could be Omaha, Nebraska. There you go, I heard her say Omaha.
Scissors and Scotch is the grooming experience every man deserves. This is where traditional barbering services meet your favorite watering hole. Purchase holiday gift cards and gift packages.
So KXSP, Omaha, Nebraska, 405 miles, 5,000 watts.
37-30 Seattle. This is Minnesota Vikings football. When your property is protected with people.
Okay, this should be WMT, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, 175 miles, 5,000 watts.
Howard Show.
Okay, 620 is WTMJ, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 52 miles away.
Hi, my name is Christina Stumble, and I own Farmhouse Flowers in San Francisco with my Spark Cash Card.
Okay, country music on 630 is CFCO, Chatham, Ontario, 310 miles, 6,000 watts. And sometimes I can pick up a St. Louis station if I turn it here to the left. So I'm picking up some religious music, I think, here on KYFI out of St. Louis, 275 miles, 5,000 watts. You can hear it soft muting as it's trying to auto-tune. It's kind of difficult at night when you're trying to DX, but during the day, this thing's a monster. It does so well with auto-tuning. Okay, 650 here is WSM, Nashville, Tennessee, 434 miles.
They got the ball back, and you guys had to go out and had to get some first downs. What was the point of focus before that final 7-play drive where you kicked the field goal?
Just staying grounded, just trying to run the clock out, trying to get another big...
660 here is WFAN, New York, New York, 750 miles.
We're able to do that tonight,
and a feathery touch with a two-handed layup. I tell you, he went to dunk that. It snapped off the rim, popped about 10 feet in the air, but he was able to go back up and get it. That's great athletic move by Wendell right there. So Wendell with a 10.4 rebound game.
Here's 670 to score, WCR, Chicago.
Now they go to Buddy Hield. Hield with back-to-back 3 balls. Gives it up to...
Or even a lifetime. It means forever. Largely memorials. Forever.
See where it goes from there.
Thanks, Chris. Back to you guys. We're Sean Penny tonight.
Ils sont chaque année, c'est normal, les gens qui font ça. Et c'était une protestation pour manifester contre les coupures du gouvernement. On a annoncé des coupures assez sévères en Alberta. Il faut savoir que les finances publiques sont assez problématiques présentement avec le cours du pétrole qui est baissé. Par rapport à les bouchers du pétrole albertain qui montent en ce moment. Les Albertains aimeraient pouvoir passer un système de au Canada. Alors, il y a des coupes dans le gouvernement.
I'm not sure. I got a new station here. I was just kind of hovering to see.
Prévu dans les 3 prochaines années, 500 infirmières de moins, des enseignants de moins. Alors, ça vient toucher des très sensibles, surtout pour les milieux syndicaux et les
Okay. Pretty cool. I'll see if I can find out that one. Usually it's English. Like this here. I think it's a CKGM right here. I'll have to look up that station at 690. That was, I think, French speaking. Cool.
Of the Roden family. Newcomb is the mother of Angela Wagner, one of 4.
700 WLW, Cincinnati, Ohio, 300 miles.
2016. Newcomb was charged with forgery, obstructing justice, and perjury in the aftermath of the killings.
See, trying to lock on here. Multiple stations.
For St. Louis, that includes
definitely has a hard time with multiples. With that auto tuning.
From Calvin to Hahn, but again, St. Louis.
But when you have good strong stations, it locks them in good. This is 720 WGN Chicago.
And our goalie matchup, Corey Crawford stopping 26 of the 30 shots that he faced.
740 Zoomer Radio, CFZM, Toronto, Ontario, 460 miles.
85.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Steve Winslow live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center at 11:34.
There you go, WSB Atlanta, Georgia, 630 miles.
Drive, exit 22, just watch for the right lanes blocked, heading
independently owned and operated. They are right here in our community.
That's Serta with a C. At Serta Pro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Man, aren't you tired of being hoodwinked into buying socks size 9 through 12?
760s WJR Detroit, Michigan, which is 270 miles away.
Gain 11 makes men's socks in 11 individual shoe sizes, 7 through 17. It just makes sense. Everything else you wear fits. That should be
substantial for the Democratic House to take to the American people. It includes missteps that have been made so far. Everybody makes them.
WABC, New York, New York, 750 miles.
However, is the decision
led by Governor Pritzker.
Lisa Fielding News Radio, 105.9 FM.
In Washington, House lawmakers got their first look at the Intelligence Committee
780 WBBM Chicago.
This evening, a behind closed doors review ahead of tomorrow's expected vote on what.
Everything they care about will be decided. In the meantime, they must await the outcome in someone else's home.
This is WGY, Albany, New York, 740 miles.
They need the hope and encouragement of a good friend. Chances are I've described someone that you count among your friends. Be sure to remember him this.
Schedule an appointment with one of our firm's New York attorneys, a partner men can count on.
Okay, making sure it wasn't a religious station. I heard New York.
CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Albany and Saratoga Springs. 100 Great Oak.
Here you are at Albany.
In defense, she did win. She was like a teacher of the year twice at the elementary school.
WBAP, Fort Worth, Texas, 810 miles.
Recoveries. And even the last play, when C.J. Ham fumbles the ball, it looked like he was down on that kickoff return. Not that it would have mattered. There's only 15 seconds left in the ball game. But even still...
8:30 WCCO, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 310 miles.
Return at the end of the game, yeah. It looked like he was down. And...
Okay. Sounds like a bunch of people talking into cans. This is usually 840 WHAS, Louisville, Kentucky, 300 miles.
Are you saying that this isn't just a huge issue, this is a climate change issue in terms of how we anticipate the magnitude of storm flooding? I don't think it is a climate change. Why?
Just picking up fringe here, KOA Denver, Colorado, 890 miles.
Les plus populaires, le plus célèbre et le plus absurde. C'est un ramassis de tout ce qu'on trouve de comme
860 is CJBC, Toronto, Ontario, 460 miles.
Et là, ce qu'on voit apparaître notamment, c'est des grandes figures.
NFC after this win, first place in the NFC West. They are number 2 and back of number 1 New Orleans, which won here against Seattle. So the Saints.
So WWL is New Orleans, Louisiana, 865 miles.
San Francisco and the Saints play this coming weekend. So, yeah, a huge...
of affordable housing for low-income seniors, families, and veterans.
880, we're at WCBS, New York, New York.
Changing lives and building communities.
Policy is no different than George Soros. They're one and the same. They're one and the same. At these various events with the Koch brothers, I remember...
890 WLS, Chicago.
...and tyranny.
Go to the top of this part of this band here.
Go to geico.com. In 15 minutes, you can save 15% or more on cards.
Case in 2004, we got everybody, water filtration systems. We wanted to immediately stop the exposure.
CBW, Winnipeg, Manitoba, 675 miles.
Put water filters in for the public water supplies, people on private wells.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Nick said that's right. He was pooping them out then.
WMVP, Chicago.
Well, he could. He said he...
Party. Party. Thanks for the Equitable for helping us bring you coverage of our local sports teams at home or on the road. And with Equitable's versatile mobile banking app, you can bank with ease also at home or on the road. For home loans, Equitable keeps your loan close to home. Your loan is approved, funded, and serviced locally. Keep your home loan close.
In its own way is a kind of act of genius.
There's like 3 different stations on 1010 there. Here's 1020 KDK, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 450 miles.
And, you know, they, in their own way, I would say this.
They're trying to change. Whoever can frame the issue wins the argument. Whoever can change the terminology of the argument has a great advantage. The fact that I love it when they say...
There's a music station underneath this WBZ. It's kind of funny. WBZ, Boston, Massachusetts, 880 miles. And at 1030 might be a local station out of Chicago, causing that interference.
That will allow people earn, you know, without...
She became increasingly depressed, and to make matters worse, she was diagnosed with diabetes.
There is a divine power. I believe it. I don't know about you, but I've got to believe it.
1040, Des Moines, Iowa is WHO, 280 miles.
1970 in Denmark. This is the last known recording of...
This is Sarah. How can I help? Can you help me get ready for a house full of guests?
KYW, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 700 miles.
How much junk you've accumulated until you start getting like church or a soccer match. But at one point, the priest, he was a very serious guy, just burst into this holy joy.
I think it's out of Arkansas there. 1090 is KAAY, Little Rock, Arkansas, 570 miles.
Put my arms around Max and hugged him so.
Huge asterisk next to Pete Carroll's first season in Seattle, 2010.
WTAM, Cleveland, Ohio, 345 miles.
The Seahawks won the West with 7-9.
And the Seahawks have blown this baby open. 33-17 early in the fourth.
Here we go, KMOX, St. Louis, Missouri. 275 miles.
But they could not convert down the stretch.
Which obviously has been getting mostly impacted by the one-day shipping cost, AWS and advertising. I think that people's estimates for...
I think we're getting WBBR here, New York, New York, 750 miles.
In terms of ahead of this quarter, saying that you weren't going to see... Two things that I'd like to say, and I'll try to make it quick. The first is that...
as Mo of the Three Stooges used to say.
1140 WRVA, Richmond, Virginia, 665 miles.
So, in an earlier segment, you mentioned that it's not really a political...
Maybe people don't like Trump, but let me tell you something. They hate the other side more than anything you can imagine.
1180 WHAM, Rochester, New York, 545 miles.
Help me with his name. Does anyone know his Nadler, the Canadian.
Yes. Well, what do you do? Can we get a phone that actually can call and dial that also keeps her safe?
Well, you know, if they're in a really...
WPHT, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 700 miles.
Time. Yeah. So you really have...
I'm going to probably cruise up the band here pretty quickly. Usually there's lots of stations here, and you could hover usually best around dusk, or sunup.
And then everything goes back to normal. At least we hope.
Here's WMBD, Peoria, Illinois, 135 miles, 5,000 watts. Okay, so the cholesterol guy here, WLAC, it's 1510, is Nashville, Tennessee, 434 miles.
Going back on the stat drug or trying something.
And you got some music underneath there.
I've been recently with the news about statins have been a little
is that the Kansas City mayor is discussing this, and actually makes my point for me. He noted in this piece...
1520 is KOKC, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 690 miles.
Previous felony charges that were reduced to misdemeanors.
Another cool radio station doing music underneath that.
When we come back, 37-30, Seahawks beat the Vikings. You're listening to Monday Night Football on Westwood One.
1530 WCKY, Cincinnati, Ohio. 300 miles.
Now you can save $80. They realized that first Parliament and then the King had denied their right to govern themselves, had denied their right to...
1540 KXEL, Waterloo, Iowa, 210 miles.
And that was at the heart of what started the revolution, namely the doctrine.
Christmas music. Fun. Okay, 1610 here, CHHA, Toronto, Ontario again, 460 miles.
Community for young now accepting residents. Join us in supporting these young adults by making a contribution today. Visit treasurehouse.org. That's treasurehouse.org.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year automatic.
KCNZ, Waterloo, Iowa, 210 miles, 1,000 watts.
It's kind of like being showered with cash from above, which would also be pretty amazing.
That's when you're supposed to be, getting the fires down. You're supposed to put it out, saying, you know what,
WOZN, Madison, Wisconsin, The Zone, 77 miles, 1,000 watts. Got music here. I think it's WPRR, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 140 miles.
Nobody would be talking about it. All we'd be talking about is what a crappy job you've done as a coach. Right. And that you should be out for that. Instead, it's become this.
I love it. This is 1700. You got KBGG, Des Moines, Iowa, 280 miles. Then just underneath that layer, we have KKLF coming out of Richardson, Texas, which is 790 miles and an advertised rating of about 1,000 watts. But I have a feeling it's at 10,000. We're able to pick that up.
Wife, Emily Mayfield, why is this the focus of your questions? And then the lady responded, I asked exactly one t-shirt question after the game. I asked Baker what he thought of it. He defended Kitchen and said that was cool.
There we go. Okay, we'll turn this off. Okay, it shows a little battery life indicator there, which is nice. The light will automatically turn off in 2 minutes if you haven't touched anything, and as long as it's running off batteries. When it's plugged in, I believe the light stays on all the time, but I can turn it off manually. There we go. So let's do final thoughts on the C.Crane CC Radio 3 Evening Medium Wave Band Scan. As you heard, it does a great job with strong stations coming in with that auto tuning. But with fainter stations, you gotta have some patience and learn to know the radio more to find those weaker stations. But like I said, I've used a passive loop. During the day, it works great, but in the evening, it tends to mess up that auto tuning circuit on the fainter stations. So it's not always a great thing. Though you might be able to use the Twin Coil ferrite on the back to those direct connect and see how that works for you. But you already have a Twin Coil ferrite inside the radio. The only reason why I'd use the other one is you could remote mount it, say outside or near a window where you might get better reception. Something to think about. But overall, impressed with this radio so far. Amazing on FM. You'll see that in the review. Just amazing. If you haven't seen the review, go watch the review. The FM rating is just... makes this radio awesome with everything else. I'm pretty happy with it. Yes, it's a premium radio, but it's nice having a premium radio. It really is. And then the fact that it can be portable, the fact that it can run when the power goes off. It's a big deal. The fact that you can keep in touch with what's happening on the outside world. 2-meter band, weather band. Very handy features. I have links below to this radio. Right now, I think you can only get it through C.Crane, but if the links open up for Amazon, I'll put those there too. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you watching. And if you, of course, want to subscribe to the channel because you love C.Crane products and you want to see more of the CC Radio 3, by all means, hit subscribe at the bell icon. And, of course, comment below what you think about this radio during the evening band on the medium wave. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.